Hi everybody, good morning.
No, I'm sitting
I'm
with
really
her. She can do it.
I'm really excited to be here today. So I am Siddhika Goenka. I am a strengths focused psychologist and a parenting expert. To see more of my work, you can see me on Instagram. It's at Siddhika Empowering You. Great. So honestly, today with the whole lockdown scenario and so much happening, I think we've just kind of had enough. We are full time parents, and in the real sense, right now, we are full time parents because we are literally seeing our children absolutely all the time. Since the time they wake up till the time they go to till the time they go to sleep. So there is no time whatsoever where we have time to ourselves, and that does cause a lot of stress, anxiety, even frustration and irritation. Now, here, as a parent, I feel the more you set boundaries and the stronger your parenting style is, the more you can succeed and thrive and enjoy with your children. Some parents feel, oh, we should never be strict. Being strict shows that we don't love our children. Not at all. You have to be firm. You have to be strict. It's equally important. Just because you love your child doesn't mean that you actually understand your child. So, understanding is more important than really loving. You need to understand your children. You need to understand their milestones. You need to understand their mindset. And you cannot expect a 5-year-old to understand your situation. You have to understand their point of view from a 5-year-old's. Does that make sense? So, as a 5-year-old, they are going to make mistakes. They are going to cry for chocolate every day. They are going to cry for screen time. These are normal things. They are going to say, oh, Mama, I'm bored. I want to watch TV. Or, Mama, I want to play video games. That is absolutely normal. But the way you tackle it, the way you handle it is most important. So, today I am going to talk about how you can set boundaries, how you can actually be a more successful parent by being slightly stricter, by being having some kind of restrictions, by having some kind of rules and regulations. Yes, if you're all listening to me and if it all makes sense, please give me a thumbs up. Please let me know that yes, it makes sense. All right, great. So now punishments. Punishments is a very sensitive topic. It's very touchy. You keep wondering, should you punish your child? Should you not? Sometimes we think, oh, when we were young, our parents used to punish us so much. Our parents used to hit us, right? When you used to go to school, a teacher used to take a ruler and hit you if your homework was not done. You used to get punishments all the time. Be a chicken, go out of the classroom, stand up, do do uthak betak. All of these were regulars. All of these were normal punishments in our lives, and we've all faced it. But now, in today's world, we keep hearing, "Don't punish your child. You will make them underconfident. You will affect their mental health. You will affect their overall growth if you punish your child. They'll start feeling scared. You will develop fear in their minds," right? All of these are repercussions of punishments. As a parenting expert, as a mental health counselor, I will be giving you tips on why you should punish your child, how you should punish your child, and whether you should punish your child. So I will be answering these three main questions: whether you should punish your child, how you should punish your child, and why you should punish your child. Okay, so let me start with a situation. Are you ready? All right. So you have your 6-year-old crying, absolutely crying at a toy store. Okay. Normal situation, you've gone to a toy store and your 6-year-old baby, Your 6-year-old child is crying. He really wants this car. Okay. So he's saying, Mama, please get me this car. I really want this car. I don't have this kind of a car. I really want it. You say, no, you're not going to get it now. He says, why, Mama? I don't have this car. I don't have it. You say, but you already have 10 cars in the house. You cannot get it. Now you're getting angry, right? Slowly your voice is increasing. You're getting super angry. Your tone is increasing. You're getting upset. Now the child is crying louder and louder and louder. And Rahul is saying, I really want this car, Mama. I really want it. I want it right now. Get it for me right now. And now he started rolling on the floor and he started crying really, really loudly. And you get angry. And you say, no way. You're not going to get it right now. Stop this nonsense. Right? This is how you react. Did it help the situation? Did it calm him down? Please answer. Did it calm him down? Did it make him cry less? No, it did not make him cry less. Right? It did not make him cry less. What happened was, in fact, his crying increased. His misbehavior increased. He started creating more of a ruckus. He started saying, Mama, you're always rude to me. Mama, you always scream at me. Mama, you always shout at me. This is not done. That's what happened. So your yelling, your screaming, your shouting actually became a part and more of the problem. Now, Rahul forgot that he wanted the car. What Rahul remembered was, my mama shouts at me. My mama screams at me. My mama is always making me cry. These are the memories that he had in his mind. The attention from the car went on to, Mama's always screaming at me. Mama never gets me what she wants, what I want. Mama's always shouting. So his memory changed from the car to, my mama is rude, my mama is mean, my mama is always angry. Remember, a 6-year-old makes such conclusions. A 6 or a 7-year-old can make such conclusions and can say, my mother always screams and shouts at me. So the attention gets diverted. Here, it is very, very important to have boundaries from early on. You need to set boundaries. That's why I say, before you go to the toy store, you need to have certain boundaries with the child. Now, this means having rules and regulations, setting certain rules. For example, you can tell your child, every week, I am going to make you a discipline chart. And if you get more than 15 stars, I will buy you a toy at the end of the month. So you can have a pact with the child where every month you will buy him or you will give him one treat. It could be a chocolate, it could be a toy, it could be a book, it could be an activity, anything. So this way your child is absolutely clear that every month I am going to get rewarded with whatever I want. This is setting boundaries, which needs to be done every single day, right? So every day you have to set boundaries with your child. After a month, if you do these activities in your discipline chart, you will get X, right? That's the first thing, setting boundaries. Now the second thing is ways of punishing your child. Punishment doesn't always mean squats or hitting or pinching or reacting. Those are not the kind of punishments we are looking at. Punishments can also mean a 5-minute timeout. Punishments can also mean not talking to your child for 10 minutes, being silent. Punishments vary. Punishment doesn't always mean reaction. We feel punishment is you hit the child, that is a punishment. You slap the child, that is a punishment. You are rude to the child, that is a punishment. Or you say go out and stand out of the room for 10 minutes, that's a punishment. That is not a punishment. A punishment is something that actually changes the result of your child's behavior. Which means when you are punishing the child, it has to be effective. It has to work for your child. So I'm going to tell you a very simple trick that I do with my children. When I want to punish my child, before that, I start with telling my child, okay, Serena, write down 5 punishments that I can give you when you do something that is undesirable. You got it? Make your child write down 5 punishments that they can get if they don't behave in the right way or if they behave unproductively. So make them write down punishments that will actually affect them, that will actually make them feel that they've done something wrong. You can sit with your child and write down punishments together. It could be things like, I will have to do 2 extra pages of homework. That could be a punishment. It could be, you will have to um, sit outside for 10 minutes if that affects the child. It could be, you will have to not watch TV, you will have to sacrifice your TV time for the entire month. It could be, you will have to have a bath 3 times a day. Just anything that your child doesn't like or that your child feels like is a punishment should be given to the child, right? Anything that your child feels that is a punishment for the child is a punishment. Don't give punishments based on your moods. I think I'll make her do 10 push ups, that's a punishment. That's not a punishment. A punishment is something that works for the child, that makes the child feel bad and guilty for what she has done. For example, if the child is not very fond of writing, you can say, okay, Rahul, you have to write, I am sorry, I am sorry, I am sorry 100 times. Now, every time your child is writing, I am sorry, 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 your child will be thinking about the behavior that she made, that was not right, right? The more she thinks or the more he thinks about the behavior, the more he will realize that it was wrong. So, the first thing I spoke about was setting boundaries from before, telling them after every month you will get this, making it known. The second thing I spoke about was telling your children that punishments are going to be according to you, making them write down the punishments that they could get and making them write down those punishments and giving them those punishments only, right? That's the second thing. Now, the third and most important thing is, why should you punish your child? Punishment sets boundaries, punishment avoids reactions. See, we are all human beings. As mothers, especially right now in the lockdown period, we are doing most of the things. We are loaded with household work. We are also loaded with our business and professional lives. Plus, we're handling our children 24/7. We're homeschooling our own children. We're disciplining our children. Our husbands are a lot more stressed out because of the lockdown, because of the work. Our husbands have a lot more to do. So, overall, there is just a lot going on. And at this time, we need to be stronger than everything else. We need to be the strongest. That's why we have to set punishments, because if we don't set consequences of mal behavior or of unproductive behavior, we will start screaming, we will start shouting, we will start reacting. And a reaction is the worst thing that you want. You have to respond to behavior, you cannot react, right? So punishments avoid reactions, punishments avoid conflict, punishments avoid confusion. To not be confused, to be clear, to be known, the children should know this is the result of this behavior. This is the result of this mistake. You need to be absolutely clear. You need to set punishments. I would say write down punishments. On a whiteboard, the 5 punishments that your child has chosen, that if she does something wrong, these are the punishments she's going to get. Write it down on a whiteboard so that you can also set that, okay, if you cry more than 5 times in a day, this is the punishment you're going to get, right? If you complain more than 10 times in a day, this is the consequence. You have to make them aware of the consequences. Now, this is possible for children above, I would say, 5 years of age. Above 5 years, this is possible. But what about children under 5 years? How do you discipline children under 5 years? How do you set consequences for children who don't understand that behavior A causes result B? How do you set consequences for that? Simple thing. For children under 5, your first rule is you have to be consistent. You cannot sometimes forgive and sometimes give a consequence. You have to always be consistent in your way of punishing, number 1. Number 2, hitting is a absolute no-no. No hitting, no raising your hand up on your children. Not even throwing things at your children, because if you do that, your children will definitely emulate you and they will do the same back at you at some point. So no hitting, no throwing, no pinching. These 3 are no-nos. If you can avoid yelling and screaming, that is a no-no as well. The most simple punishment is a timeout, which you can start with your child even when they are 1 year. Even when they are 1 year of age, you can take your child, make your child face a wall and put him or her there and start a timer. Start a timer on the mobile phone for 5 minutes. And for 5 minutes, your child has to just look at the wall without any conversation. That's it. Till the age of 5, I find timeouts to be very effective if done consistently, if done with intent, which means after the timeout, you need to explain to the child why you gave them that timeout, why that timeout was given to the child. You need to explain the result of their behavior, right? So timeouts are very, very important under 5. Remember, no hitting, no shouting, no screaming. A timeout has to be given for children under 5. For above 5, let them choose their own punishments. Let them choose what kind of punishment you can give the child. Remember, parenting is a lot about self-control. It's a lot about mindfully parenting your child. It's a lot about consciously calming yourself down. It's a lot about consciously calming yourself down and parenting. Right? So you have to parent your child very confidently, calmly, and mindfully. Mindfully means you have to tell them that this behavior will cause this result, which also means if your child does something that is wrong, and if you just scream at your child, you are teaching your child that screaming is okay. You are teaching your child that screaming is allowed. You are telling your child, scream back at me. Remember, children are not listening to you. Children are watching you more than they are listening to you. That is always the case. So if you throw a hairbrush at them, if you throw a remote control at them, they are definitely going to throw it back at you at some point, or they are going to throw it at your friends at some point. For sure. Definitely. So you have to control your actions. You have to control your behavior so that they don't do the same thing again at you. Right? Setting boundaries, setting punishments is extremely important. The 4th thing that I come to today is your tone, how you talk to your child. Remember, firmness is what is required. Be firm. Don't scream. but be firm. Now, firmness has two things. Firmness can mean saying something firmly, strongly, and also consistently. Saying something again and again and again doesn't mean that you are firm. A lot of children say sometimes, Mama, you're always repeating the same thing again and again and again. You keep saying the same thing again and again and again, right? A lot of children say that. Mama, you're always repeating. So don't repeat. We have a habit of nagging our children. Now we have spoken about children under 5. We've also spoken about children from the age of 5 to 10. What about for children above 10? We as mothers have a habit of nagging. We feel the more we say something to our children, eventually they are going to listen to it. However, that doesn't happen. In fact, the opposite happens. The more you say things to your children, the more times you repeat it, the more times they are actually going to not listen to it. Right? If I keep telling you again and again and again and again and again, wash your hands, 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 if I keep repeating it, sometimes your child might do it. Sometimes your child might just say, Mama, I'm old enough. I understand. You don't need to say the same thing again and again to me. Or the third result might be that you've said it so many times that you've made your child conscious. So conscious that the more you say it, the more your child will start getting repulsed and averse from it. The more your child will run away from it. Now, I have seen parents who are very particular, let's say, of respect and manners, and they obviously want only the good for their child. So they, let's say, tell their children when somebody comes from outside, when a guest comes, wish the guest, either touch their feet or say hello. And sometimes we end up repeating it again and again and again. Every time a guest comes, touch their feet. Every time a guest comes, showcase your talent. We have this habit of showcasing our children's talents in front of other guests also, or telling them, did you meet the guest? Did you say hello to the guest? A lot of times that creates a negative image. Eventually, your child will get frustrated and your child will stop meeting people. Your child will say, I don't want to meet others. I don't want to meet guests. That happens as well. So, you have to set boundaries. You have to make sure you don't talk, you don't tell the same thing again and again and again to your child. Right? You have to make sure that happens. Don't tell the same thing again and again to your child again and again. The more you repeat, the more irritated and frustrated your child will get. I hope you've understood the importance of punishments. I hope you've understood why boundaries are important, why it is really, really crucial to be a parent, not your child's best friend. A child has millions of friends, but your children have only you. They have only one mother and they have only one father. So you need to play the role of a mother and father, which is of loving, understanding, lending your child a listening ear, but also saying no, also setting rules, also setting boundaries. Don't worry, your children will never hate you if boundaries, rules, and punishments are set in the right tone, in the right manner, and in the right approach. I hope that makes sense. I'm ready for questions now. If you have any questions, do ask me. I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for questions. You can send me any questions that you would have. I hope I was audible. I know a lot of times we get worried about how to punish your child, without making your child hate you or without making your child get very, very angry or upset with you. Don't worry. Your children are your children. How much ever of a joint family you live in, how many ever people there are, eventually they will listen to you. Eventually they will come back to you. So have faith in your upbringing. Have faith in your values And whenever you punish your child, remember to have a buffer. A buffer means a positive reinforcement period where after you have punished your child, after you have set the boundary, you are constantly reaffirming, you are constantly reinforcing their self esteem, you're constantly reinforcing their positive self concept. You make them feel good about themselves by giving specific behavior, by saying, oh, today I really liked Richa how you listened to me. Today I really liked Anushka how you behaved. So it's important to be specific in complimenting. It is important to be specific in positive reinforcement. Punishment, boundaries, disciplining are very important. But after that, buffering, after that, giving positive reinforcement, after that, complimenting your child, praising your children is as important. So make sure parenting is a very delicate balance of reaffirming, positive affirmations, of constantly building your child's self esteem, and disciplining, and punishing, and setting boundaries. In today's world, don't think that no, I cannot punish my child. No, you cannot hit, you cannot slap, you cannot pinch, you should not scream. But you should be strong. You should have a firm voice. You should punish consistently. You should give result of their negative behavior consistently. Don't ignore their negative behavior. Don't expect others to discipline your children. You have to discipline your own children. Also, viewers, I have this amazing A to Z series of parenting. It's on YouTube and on Instagram at Siddhika Empowering You. I'm sure FirstCry will share the link later. You can have a look at that. It gives a full A to Z series of parenting. I hope that makes sense. Now I'll be answering some questions. I've gotten a few questions here. Please, I would be answering that. The first question is, you can come here and video it properly. You can come here and video it. The first question is, my son is 2.6 years old. He just loves water and playing with it all day, if possible. Now, this is disturbing for us. Absolutely. If all day your child is playing with water, your child might fall sick. There might also be, obviously, secondary, but a lot of mess. So if I give him a hands down for it, he gets more irritated. His obsession with water has become worrying for us. So give us tips. Sure, Arundhati. Now here I feel you need to understand, for a 2.5-year-old, water is lovely. It has lots of scope to play with. It is an ocean of discovery. Children love playing with water. Children love eating in water also. They love eating and drinking in water. You know, when my son is in the tub, that's when he has his dinner and his soup the fastest. So children love water. But obviously, all day if your child is in water, it can cause worry. It can make him sick. So what you do is, the first suggestion is out of sight, out of mind. Try to keep everything that has water, dishes, tubs, away from him. Usually at 2.5, your child will not remember the sight of water always. He might forget. They have object permanence, which means if something is not there in front of him, they forget. Right? So try and keep it away from him. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if he loves water so much, use water as a gift. When he behaves nicely, give him the water to play with. When he behaves negatively, take away the water from him and give him a timeout at that time. Right? The next question that I'm going to answer is, my child is 7 years old. He does all the work happily, but when we ask him to study, he becomes angry and starts shouting. What should I do to make him disciplined? Okay, I totally understand. I totally feel you. All parents, including me, we go through a struggle to make our children sit and write down. So first thing you need to know is your child's attention span. You have to figure out what your child's attention span is. How much your child can concentrate. You need to know that. Which means some children can concentrate for 10 minutes at a stretch. Some children can concentrate for 25 minutes at a stretch, but some children can only concentrate for 7 minutes at a stretch. First, identify the concentration span. Once you are done with that, make sure after every period of concentration you give him a 5-minute break or a 10-minute break where your child walks around, runs around, drinks some water, jumps a little bit, hops, skips, takes out his physical energy and then comes back refreshed to study. Do this every single time. Parenting has to be a routine. Parenting has to be a habit. Parenting has to be a consistent way of disciplining your child. So do this and let me know how it went. My next question is, my son is 4 plus. He talks very loudly. He is naughty but very active. How do I teach him discipline as he always ignores what we say? Okay. Now here you need to know, usually boys at the age from 4 to 7 or 8 have a loud screeching voice. They talk loudly, especially in their own houses. You assume them to be slightly aggressive, dominating, they talk loudly, and they are very naughty and they have lots and lots of energy to burn out. That is a usual characteristic of a boy. Keep that in mind. Keeping that in mind, try to discipline your child, which means keeping that in mind, think what is best for your child. How you should ignore his physical energy, let him burn it out. In the evening from 5 to 7, give him time where he can run around, where he can play, where he can burn out all his energy. Give him that time. But set a routine. So 11 to 1, shut the door of a room where you and your son are sitting together and doing activities together, whatever he enjoys. Start with motor skills, then go on to coloring, and then go on to writing. Don't jump into writing. Start with motor skills because boys love motor skill activities. Then go on to coloring. Then you can do reading and writing. But go step by step. Also, parents who have more than one child, remember, you have to spend one-on-one time with each child. If you think you can take two children together and make them study, that will not be possible. You have to first make your 8-year-old study for 1 hour, then make your 6-year-old study for 1 hour, and then make your 2-year-old study for 1 hour. But all three children or two children together, you will not succeed. Okay, I'm answering the next question. My son is 6 years old and he doesn't listen to anyone. He shouts too much. How to teach him discipline? Okay. So this is again something that all of us have questions about. This is a very common question. Remember, discipline is something that is taught slowly. You cannot teach discipline in one day. You cannot even teach discipline in 1 week. Discipline is a step by step process. It is not a 1 day or a 1 week process. So, the first way of teaching discipline is to establish a routine, establish a schedule, then make a discipline chart, and every day with the habits he does, write down the habits that you want him to inculcate and keep giving him stars for what he finishes. And the end of the month, for the number of stars he has, you can give him an incentive or a reward. But you have to do this consistently and you have to constantly every day try to set boundaries and to discipline. Parents, another suggestion for disciplining is draw out boundaries. Now, for example, if there are certain things you don't want your children to do, for example, if you want that 8:30 to 9 children need to play on their own in their own room, draw a room, draw the children playing, and for your room and for yourself draw a cross, which means 8:30 to 9 the children have to be alone and do free play and play on their own and not come to your room. So you can draw out boundaries. I feel children are visual learners. The more you draw with them, the more you draw out things that you don't want them to do, the more likely they are not to do it. So if you want them to use a handkerchief and sneeze in the handkerchief, you can draw that out. If you want them to not scream, You can teach your child, this is your home voice. This is your angry voice. But you need to have your sweet voice when you are speaking with me. So teach them the difference between a sweet or a home voice or a yes voice and a no voice. So a no voice can be a loud, screaming, angry voice. And a yes voice can be a happy, obedient, sweet voice. So a no voice is a cross, a yes voice is a yes. Teach them the difference between the voices, right? Okay, I'm going to go on to the next question. We have tons of questions. Uh, okay, the next question is, my son sits all day on gadgets or his gaming and he hates studying. And yes, obviously, the more the children are influenced or are exposed to video games, the more violent they are going to get. You have to be firm. I cannot emphasize the importance of firmness, of strictness, of routine. Every day, you have to say only half an hour of video game. After that, let your child cry, let your child howl, just go away from there. Let him cry till he cries. Mothers, I am saying this with experience. I usually do this. I walk out from the crime scene. So the crying or that violent screaming is the crime scene. I just walk out from the crime scene. Let your child cry. Let him calm down on his own. Eventually, he will calm down. So walk out from the crime scene and then after that, when your child is in a better mood, make sure you teach your children how to be calm, which means count from 1 to 10, have a glass of water, do some deep breathing, teach your children deep breathing exercises, teach your children to calm themselves down so that when they are extremely violent or when they are a volcano ready to burst, they can calm themselves down, right? So teach them that. I hope you're enjoying the live session. The next question is, my daughter is 8 years old. She's very intelligent, but she cannot concentrate. How do I discipline? Again, with disciplining, your schedule, your routine is important. Do your voices, high voice, low voice. Have a set routine. Also, one tip that I would like to give you, mothers and fathers, is don't get agitated. Sometimes we love our children just too much, right? Especially when you have only one child. You want to give your child everything, all the resources. You want to spoon feed your child all the time. Mama, where is the pencil? Here you go, beta. Mama, where is the eraser? Here you go, beta. You want to constantly spoon feed. Here I will tell you, wait. Let your child do his or her work on their own so that they burn their energy. Also, don't keep reacting. If your child is crying, it's okay. Crying is sometimes okay for the child. They will eventually learn how to calm themselves down. They will eventually learn how to be stronger. They will also learn what is a yes and what is a no. If you keep reacting or responding to their every tear, soon those tears will become crocodile or fake tears. And who is to blame? It is us. Eventually, it is us to blame for those tears or for those headaches becoming crocodile headaches or crocodile tears or fake tears. Eventually, it is us. So please don't do that. Please don't let it become fake. Till it's genuine, address it, and address it with a calm mind and a cool mind. Be composed and calm. Okay, I'm going on to the next question. My son is 4 years old. He accepts advice and he is a good listener, but follows no rules. I want him to become an obedient child. Now for here, you need to have a vision. What do you want your child to be? More often than not, we have too many goals for our children. We have too many things that we want our child to be. And then we get confused. Don't have too many expectations from your child. You need to be realistic. A 4-year-old to become obedient is not 100% realistic. Yes, He will sometimes listen to you, but he also has a mind of his own. And you need to encourage that. We as parents need to bring up confident, independent, and self sufficient individuals. We need to build up their brains and minds in such a way where they can differentiate between right and wrong. For that, you need to behave in the most right manner. You need to behave correctly. If you respond, if you react, if you are angry, if you scold and scream, your child will do the same. Your child will say, Mama, you're always scolding me. Mama, you're always screaming at me. So you have to know when to draw the line, when to be patient, when to be calm. It's all about you. It's all about your mind. Remember, you are shaping minds of the future. So do something today which you will be thankful for later. Do something right now which you will thank yourself for right now. Do that. Okay, I'm going to answer the next question. My 4-year-old daughter doesn't do anything properly, like eating on her own, sleeping, and always likes to play. I'm trying hard with all the methods, but no results. Now I'm pregnant. If she continues to do that, don't know what to do when new baby comes. Okay, first of all, you need to remember she's only 4, which means slowly she will do things by herself. Be consistent. When she's eating lunch, sit on the table, let her eat on her own. If she doesn't want to eat, don't force feed her. Let her eat till as much she can eat. Every day do that for 1 week. You will see a change. Also, parents, remember, a habit is formed only after 21 days of doing the same thing again and again and again and again and again and again and again. 21 days is the time period for an adult to form a habit. So just imagine for a child how many days it could take to form that same habit. So give it time. Don't give up. Do the same thing again and again. Sit on the table with your child every day. Give her one falka. Let her eat it on her own. Wait patiently till she eats it. Patience is the key. And consistency and the number of days is the key. The more you wait, the more you do the same thing again and again, eventually she will develop it into a habit. Right? So let her do it again and again and again and again. Okay. The next question is, my child is becoming stubborn and angry during lockdown. Obviously, lockdown, we are all becoming stubborn and angry, right? We can't get out. Your children are not getting fresh air. They're not going to the parks. They're not meeting people. They're only meeting people on the screen. They don't know how it is to hug children anymore. They don't know how it is to give a high five. They don't know how it is to play with the sand. Their sensory organs are getting restricted. They're not able to touch and feel and enjoy the outdoors and enjoy the company of 30 people in their classroom. So they are getting frustrated, they are getting pent up. So right now, you must be even more understanding for your child. You must be even more patient with your child because they are not meeting anyone else. They only are meeting the 6 members of your family. For some families, even less. They are not meeting children of their age. So they're getting frustrated. They want to watch more TV. They want to play more video games because there's nothing else to do. There's no other outlet. So he was not like this before. Of course, he was not like this before because he was meeting people. Should I punish him in a different way? How can I make him understand what is right and what is not? I don't want him to be punished, but he is behaving crazy. None of us want to punish our children. Remember, punishment does not mean screaming. Punishment does not mean hitting. Punishment does not mean taking a ruler and beating your child. This is not punishment. Punishment is very, very simple. Punishment is doing something for your child that your child doesn't like making him write 2 more pages. Like if he loves chocolates, not giving him chocolates for 2 weeks. Like not letting him watch TV for 3 days. This is the kind of punishment I am talking about. Punishment is not physical. That is not a punishment. So all of you, all my 500 viewers that are watching me today, please, please, please make your children write down the punishments that they would like to get. For your children under 5, write it down with them. You can ask them questions like, what do you not like when mama does? What is a punishment to you? आपको क्या नहीं अच्छा लगता है जब ममा आपको डांटती है? क्या आपको नहीं अच्छा था? आप वो लिखो. Those are the kind of punishments. और फिर आप वही punishment उनको दो जब वो misbehave करते हैं. पेरेंट्स, आप मेरे A to Z सीरीज ऑफ पेरेंटिंग प्लीज देखिए, आपको उसमें बहुत बहुत बेनिफिट होएगा. आई कैन नॉट एम्फसाइज दैट अगेन एंड अगेन. ओके, आई एम गोइंग टू आंसर द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. When to start directing baby like what is wrong and right or what not to do? My baby is 11 months old. For example, when he pulls his hair and shouts, we say no, but people say he is too young to understand. No, he is not too young to understand. Yes and no are things that children understand from a very early on age. But आप actions के साथ करिए. No के लिए आप ये दिखाइए. और yes के लिए आप या तो एक happy face दिखा सकते. Yes and no. So give him lots of yeses also. खाली no मत दीजिए. What I suggest is, again for children under 5, give lots and lots of yeses. When your child does something great, give a yes. Show a smiley face. Exaggerate your action. When your child throws litter in the dustbin, show a yes. Give him a hug. When your child listens to you, when your child eats properly on his own, yes, positive reinforcement is the key. जितना आप पॉजिटिव रीइंफोर्स करेंगे उनके अच्छे बिहेवियर को, उतना आपको नेगेटिव बिहेवियर रिड्यूस मिलेगा एंड उतना आपको पनिशमेंट कम देना पड़ेगा. So positively keep reinforcing your child again and again and again. Lots of my friends tell me कि सिद्धिका, तुम तो पूरे टाइम बच्चों को एकदम सर पे चढ़ा के रखती हो. पूरे टाइम you are only appreciating yours and everyone else's children. I have a habit, frankly. मैं बहुत ज़्यादा good job, amazing work, excellent, well done, superb मैं बहुत बोलती हूँ. But this is something that I enjoy doing. I feel happy when people appreciate me. So my children, others' children, they will love it. So I make it a conscious habit to exaggerate, appreciate even more. And they'll say, this is not fake. I genuinely love appreciating people around me. I love doing that, children and people. And when I do that, I notice कि बच्चे actually they start behaving even better when I am around. So I will again teach you a little secret that I do. What I do is, let's say Arjun, okay, this boy is called Arjun and he is a very aggressive child. ठीक है, अर्जुन बहुत अग्रेसिव है, वो बहुत गुस्सा करता है, उससे बहुत इरिटेशन होता है. ही इज अ वेरी अग्रेसिव चाइल्ड. बट मैं उल्टा करती हूँ. What I do is, when Arjun is very angry, when Arjun is aggressive, when Arjun is behaving rudely, I am calm. I challenge myself to be calm. I challenge myself to be soft and I say, Arjun, you are actually a very gentle child. Arjun, अब तो बड़े अच्छे बच्चे हो. You are a very patient child. अभी एक मॉन्स्टर आ गया है आपके ब्रेन में जो आपको गुस्सा दिला रहा है. अभी एक ये गलत गंदा सा एक अगली लुकिंग मॉन्स्टर आपके ब्रेन में आ गया है जो आपको बहुत गुस्सा दिलाना चाहता है. आप क्या करोगे? आप वो मॉन्स्टर को लो और फेंक दो. So I make Arjun do this. What I do is, I tell Arjun, ये मॉन्स्टर को लो अपने हाथों में. अर्जुन छोटा बच्चा है, वो मॉन्स्टर को लेगा अपने हाथ में. He will imagine that there is a monster. He will say, मम्मा मैं ये मॉन्स्टर को फेंक रहा हूँ. एंड अर्जुन ने ये मॉन्स्टर को फेंक दिया. एंड उस मॉन्स्टर के साथ अर्जुन का सब गुस्सा, सब इरिटेशन, सब दुख, सब अनहैप्पीनेस, सब कुछ चला गया. I am going to say that. And I will say, now Arjun has become his patient, his gentle, his sweet self all over again. That's what I'm going to do. I hope you like that example. I hope you can all do that. Okay, more to questions. My son is 2.4 years old My biggest problem with him is he starts to cry and yell on top of his voice if he wants something that I am not giving. So this happens with everybody. All our children cry and yell when they don't get something. What, for example, I don't usually give him ice, but then he cries so loudly that my parents end up giving it to him. Now here, very good point, Shrishti. There are two things that I'm going to talk about here. एक है, never give in. Please tell your parents, please explain to your in-laws and parents कि don't give in. जब वो child रो रहा है तब आप और भी मत दीजिए उसको. जब वो हंस के बोले तब आप बल्कि दे दीजिए. हंस के बोलेगा मुझे आइस चाहिए मम्मा, यू प्लीज गिव इट टू हिम, बट रो के बोले तो आप बिल्कुल मत दीजिए. दैट इज योर फर्स्ट थिंग. सेकेंड इज यू कैन नॉट कंट्रोल योर फैमिली ऑब्वियसली, बट वो जब आपके साथ अकेले हो तब आप डिसिप्लिन करो. देन यू मेक श्योर कि वो जितना भी रोए आप उसको आइस मत दो. द सेकेंड थिंग इज यू कैन टीच हिम, लाइक आई सेड, द लाउड वॉइस एंड द स्वीट वॉइस. सो टेल हिम कुछ भी आपको चाहिए अर्जुन तो आपको स्वीट वॉइस यूज करना होगा. अगर आप स्वीट वॉइस यूज करोगे तो आपको ये मिलेगा. ये एक 2 साल का बच्चा भी he can learn this. A 2-year-old child also understands the meaning of a loud, angry, rude tone and a soft, gentle, loving tone. So teach your child the loving tone. Teach your child if you want something, you will get it from the loving tone. Right? Okay. More to questions. Ma'am, I live in a joint family. My nephew is 3 years old and he is very stubborn for everything. He wants what he says or else he cries so loudly and beats his mother, grandmother, and they finally give. My son is 4 years and he also sees this. Yes, so role modeling तो होएगा. Now you have to make sure सबसे पहले आप नहीं मारो, आप नहीं डांटो, आप नहीं चिल्लाओ. These things you have to make sure. And you have to role model it. आप, you make sure you talk in a calm voice. धीरे धीरे अपने बच्चे को सिखाओ. Calm voice, loud voice. Soft voice, angry voice. Yes voice, no voice. There are lots of illustrative ways to teach your children the difference. And जितना आप अपने hands use करोगे, जितना आप अपने actions और अपना face use करोगे, उतना आपका बच्चा समझेगा. So yes voice, no voice. No. Do it with actions. Don't worry, you will not look like a cartoon or like a joker. These are important things to do. Okay, my next question is, hi Siddhika, I have a 4-year-old and an 8.5-year-old daughter. Difficult to juggle between both. Sibling rivalry, you can say. I pay more attention to the younger one. The elder one gets repulsive. Of late, she's become more rebellious. All right. Great question. So now here, lockdown mein, we all have this problem of our children becoming more and more needy, which means they want more of our time, more of our attention, more of our love, and more of our care, because they are not getting it from anywhere else. पहले क्या था, लॉकडाउन के पहले बर्थडे पार्टीज थे, फ्रेंड्स के आउटिंग्स थे, दादा दादी के पास जाना था, नाना नानी के पास जाना था, तो दे वर गेटिंग लॉट्स ऑफ लव, उन्हें बहुत प्यार मिल रहा था, दे वर गेटिंग लॉट्स ऑफ गिफ्ट्स. तो हाफ द नीड्स वर मेट इन स्कूल एंड आउटसाइड. नाउ वी हैव टू मीट 100% of their needs right now. We have to meet their 100% needs, right? For that, क्या करें हम? First thing, if you have 2 children, you have to designate time. अगर आपने 1 घंटा अपने 8 साल के बच्चे को दिया है, आपको 1 घंटा आपके 4.5-year-old को भी देना है. You cannot, दोनों बच्चे को आप साथ में, you cannot give them time. So first thing is take out time for each child. Second thing is never compare. An apple tree and an orange tree will always be different. Apple tree will always give you apples and orange tree will only and always give you oranges. Don't expect oranges from the apple tree, you will be unhappy. Don't expect apples from the orange tree, you will be unhappy. आप बच्चे को समझाओ. This is an aggressive child. Make the most out of the aggressive child. Take out his positives. Make him do lots of running, make him do lots of cycling, make him do lots of fast writing. take out his aggression and energy in all these fast skills. And a slow child or a low child take out their energy in art, in paintings, in cooking. That you need to know कौन से बच्चे का energy आप किधर channelize करोगे. As a parent, God has given us a sixth sense. All of us have it. All of us have the sixth sense or the intuition. We all have this sense. But ये sense को आपको जगाना है. You have to awaken this sense. The only way that you can awaken this sense is listen to it every day. Talk to your sixth sense. Talk to your intuition every day. उससे क्या होगा? आपका intuition, आपका sense, आपका एक power बढ़ता जाएगा. And you will be able to listen to your child's needs just with his physical behavior, just with his bodily cues. With his body cues, you will understand what the child needs. Right? Do see my parenting videos on Instagram at Siddhika Empowering You. I'm just going to send you the link. So this will be helpful for most people because I know parents have tons and tons of questions. Please look at this. My next question is my 5.8-year-old, when he is angry, he starts shouting and crying. He is not listening and makes us agitated to scold him. Screaming is becoming a habit after not getting things. Yes. Like I said, we form habits. We as parents form habits in our children. Right? तो हमने habit दिलाया है कि अगर आप चिल्लाओगे, eventually आपको आपका चीज मिल जाएगा. तो first step is you have to make him unlearn this habit. He has to unlearn it. Unlearn मतलब जितने साल आपने ये habit को learning में लगाए, उतने ही जल्दी आपको ये habit unlearn करना पड़ेगा. Which means when your child is screaming, when your child is shouting, you have to stick to your position and say no. I notice कभी-कभी I do this with my children when I don't make eye contact. जब मैं no बोलती हूँ दूर से and I don't look at them, धीरे 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 वो behavior diminish होते जाता है. I'm sure you know parents, there is a quote. आप जितना fuel दोगे fire को, उतना fire जलता जाएगा. आप जितना डीजल, पेट्रोल, घी, आहुति जितना आप दोगे, जितना फूड दोगे, उतना फायर बढ़ेगा. जितना आप फूड कम दोगे, उतना फायर बुझेगा, उतना फायर एक्सटिंग्विश होएगा. Same thing for children. The more you instigate their negative behavior, the more attention you give their negative behavior, the more it will flare up like a huge volcano. The more you, same thing for productive behavior, the more you actually give fuel to the productive behavior, to the happy behavior. आप जितना productive, जितना आप वो दोगे, fuel दोगे, उतना आपके child का productive behavior बढ़ता जाएगा. And जितना आप negative behavior को कम fuel दोगे, उतना आपका negative behavior बच्चे में घटता जाएगा. It will reduce. So it sounds cold, it sounds rude, it sounds negative, but you are actually being positive to your child by not giving fuel to his fire. When your child is angry, make a little angry corner in your house. You can write it, bada bada आप लिखो, angry corner, no, sad face. Teach your children from the years of when he's 2 years old or even 1.5. Teach your child. जब आप गुस्सा हो, जब आप angry हो, you need to go in the angry corner and sit down. Make some sad faces around. Give your child time. Let him take out his anger. Let him deal with it on his own. उसे रोने दीजिए. You do not give him attention. Don't give him eye contact. Please move away from the room. Make it safe. Obviously, safety is your priority. You have to make sure your child is safe. So go away, but be close proximity में, but you go away. Let your child take out his negative emotions. Let him take out his frustration. Then come back. Make an angry corner. जैसे आप reading corner बनाते हो घर में, वैसे make an angry corner or a sad corner for your child. Please don't give in to your child's demands. नहीं तो आपके कब genuine tears, crocodile tears बन जाएंगे आपको पता ही नहीं चलेगा. Don't let your children have crocodile tears. Okay, I hope this is good. I hope you all are benefiting from it. I'm going to go on to my next question. My 5.8 years old, when he is angry, he starts shouting and crying. He's not listening and he makes us agitated to scold him. So we spoke about this. Don't let screaming become a habit. Take your time. Role model patience. Role model calmness. Role model good behavior. Role model things that, where you can be calm. Role model peace in your house. You can also make a happy, an appreciative or a positive corner. And you can make a sad corner. Make 2 corners. एक आप happy corner बनाओ, where when your child is doing a lot of good things, you put him in the happy corner, where you have lots of books, lots of games, lots of activities. Sometimes once a month you can also have a chocolate. And make a sad corner, where when that monster, that angry monster takes over your child has to go in the sad corner. Don't let that angry monster overtake your child's happiness. Make him hold the angry monster with his hands and push it out of the window. All right. Any other questions? I'm going to answer 1 or 2 more questions now. Okay, so the next question is here. My son is 2 years and 8 months and he's very obedient, but sometimes he starts screaming and he becomes very, very agitated. Again, please be consistent, have schedules, have boundaries. Draw them out. Draw out your boundaries. So to conclude, I'm going to give you my last few tips in a nutshell that I think you should really do. In your mind, you should visualize the kind of parent that you want to be. वो बहुत जरूरी है. अगर आपको बेस्ट मोस्ट परफेक्ट पेरेंट बनना है वो पॉसिबल नहीं है. आप एवरी डे 3 थिंग्स माइंड में रखो विच यू वांट योर चाइल्ड टू हैव and which you want to have. Now today, let's say I want to be calm. I want to give my child 10 hugs and I want my child to do 5 pages of writing. These are the 3 things that I want from my child and myself today. Let's say I have to do everything that I can do to make these 3 dreams come true. अगर मैंने चिल्ला दिया मेरे बच्चे पे, even though my child is behaving badly, मैंने चिल्ला दिया या मैंने डांटा या मैंने रूडली बात किया, finished. The result will not come. I will not get it. So I have to challenge myself. Create patience practice periods, which means that time I have to make sure how much ever my child is getting angry, screaming, shouting, bawling at me, I have to be patient. I have to not react. I can respond after the crime scene is over. But before that, I cannot react. Right? Create patience practice periods. The next thing is create gadget free periods. मतलब आप एक दिन में ऐसा टाइम निकालो जब आप अपने मोबाइल फोन पे नहीं हो और आपके बच्चे अपने आईपैड, टीवी सब कुछ से दूर है. You have to, in your timetable, आप एक ड्रॉ कर सकते हो. 7 PM to 9 PM is cross out mobile, cross out TV, cross out iPad. सब cross लगाया हुआ है. Draw it out. So parents, draw your instructions, draw your boundaries, create a happy zone and an angry zone, create a happy voice and a no sad loud voice and a happy voice. Use your actions, use your hands, use your faces to discipline and create boundaries for your child. Use your entire system, your entire body, use your house to discipline your children. Boundaries create karo. Yes, create boundaries. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me. Remember, punishment doesn't mean shouting, screaming, hitting, pinching. That is not punishment. That is definitely not punishment. Punishment is tackling or attacking the counter unhealthy behavior with a healthier behavior, so that in the future the child does the healthy behavior and ignores the unhealthy behavior. Okay, so remember, आप अपने बच्चे को माइंड में लेके पनिश करो. Don't just do a generic punishment. टीवी बंद कर दिया, punishment हो गया. नहीं, ask your child, what kind of punishment would you like, and then do that. I hope you all enjoyed the session. Do log into my Instagram, Siddhika Empowering You, to see more videos. Thank you, FirstCry. Thanks, Atan. Thanks for watching me. Bye. Have a super day. All the best. Enjoy your punishing. Enjoy disciplining your children. Enjoy setting boundaries. Remember, punishment से आपका प्यार कम नहीं होगा. You will in fact love your child more if you set boundaries. You will in fact enjoy your child's company more if you set time limit. If you set boundaries, if you set time limits, if you discipline, you will enjoy your child's company more, and actually shows that you love your child more if your children are disciplined. Don't have a habit of constantly saying no to your child. No mat bolo aap. सोच के strategically handle करो. All right, I can go on and on parenting, but I'm going to stop now. My time is over. Thank you so much. Bye. Have a super day. See you.